Hiya! Welcome to LSB Feasters radio channel, where we keep great radio from the past alive. Today we're going to New York City and Imus in the morning. Imus was crotchety, Imus was cantankerous, but at times Imus was really funny. Imus was a very interesting listen throughout the years. Imus in the morning started out in California, eventually worked its way to New York in 1971, and it ran for years and years and years, well, with a little bit of time off for good behavior back in 1977. But 1979, Imus came back to New York, did his thing, and eventually, even as the station changed from top 40 to sports, when it was sold, Imus stayed with the station. When WFAN let him go, he eventually worked his way over to WABC, and that's where he ended his career. And while he was there in the final several days of the show, he really opened up about himself, about his family, about the history of the show itself. And it was some fascinating and sometimes just tough listening, especially when we would talk about things like his brother Fred dying and his split with Charles McCord and other things that happened through the years. So we're going to share another air check from Imus's final days on 77 WABC New York.
What is wrong with you? What is the matter with you?
What?
Have you really ever been psychoanalyzed? Have you been through any of that? Have they told you anything? What the hell was that we all just sat through here? With Rob and Kareth and Tony. What was that?
That was an illustration, so that they don't think I'm the only one that thinks it.
You know what that was? That was not that was an illustration. That was an execution. That's what that was.
Here's what I was. I was dumbfounded that after I'd already said something about an observation, that they come in and do it.
I understand, but I
don't get that. That's like, well, I'll just do what I want, regardless.
It's the tone that has been set. I mean, they might as well come down.
That's their fault.
They might as well
that's their fault.
Come in here and forget the chair. Come in here and lie down in a casket, and we'll hand you a microphone.
That is their fault. They caused these problems.
It's like I feel like a witness at an when the family comes and they say they want to see what happens here, and you stick the needles in the arm and you just turn on the juice and
totally uncomfortable. You don't know what to say.
God.
Like sitting in the waiting room of an abortion.
Oh, absolutely.
like that kind of, what do you say?
No question.
Who do you talk to?
Yeah. Where do you put your eyes?
Yeah,
what do you look at?
Where do you look?
Jesus.
Can this end fast enough? That's what you want to know.
You are an evil bastard.
Ooh.
That's just all there is to it. Man. Well, it's just probably.
Well, nobody cuts me any slack.
Yeah, but man.
But that's okay. While I'm talking, you know what Charles is doing? This is unbelievable. He's sitting here, and of course, it's a situation, and you understand if you're married, because it's like being Charles and my relationship, which is a personal and a professional relationship. But it's very much like being married. There's seldom a day goes by.
What is your point? God almighty, get to it.
In the past 30 years that I haven't talked to Charles on the phone.
Judas Priest, what?
At night or whatever. And, in fact, Charles was the first one to know that I had prostate cancer.
Is there a point to this?
You're right.
Are you going somewhere with this? I'm just curious.
Well,
is there a trail here that somebody can follow?
You know what the point is?
You need a darn GPS or something?
Do you know what the point? It's just this. I can't say anything. You're sitting there doodling. What the hell are you doing? What is it you're marking? You've got a Sharpie there. You have a highlighter. You have something else.
I'm making little arrows. Just as you make your infernal little boxes with the dots in them constantly. I make little arrows. I just make little.
What's wrong with the dots? What's wrong with the boxes and dots I make?
What's wrong with the arrows? Huh?
But you do it while I'm talking to you.
You do it while you're talking to everybody. You do it while you're talking to people on the telephone.
I can't get what?
Jesus God.
Well, because what difference does it make if I'm talking to them on the telephone?
This is sad. This is just sad. But now you see, now, ladies and gentlemen, you're right. You see what it's like?
No, they don't see anything.
This is what
they see is a psychopath.
This is They sure do.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, do they see a psychopath.
Should we just continue, Charles?
If you would like.
Well, I know that, Charles. I'm asking
Well, what
for
do
your
you
opinion.
want to do for crying
Well,
out
no, but
loud?
I mean,
How's that? How in the hell is that my decision?
You offer the. Here's how stupid you are.
Oh, dear God.
I'll
Here we
say
go.
to you. I'll say about something. You say, well, it's up to you. Well, we already know it's up to me, Charles.
Well,
At that moment, for God's sake, how am I supposed to know how you want to conduct the program when you've already said we're nearly out of time? Whatever you want to do, it's not up to me. It's not up to me. It's not up to me. I have no decision-making capability of this program. Do you understand that? For God's sake, how is that difficult to understand? It's not up to me. Answer me. How's that up to me?
What?
It's purple.
Why is that my decision? How is it my decision? It's not my decision. There's not one reasonable person listening to this radio program at this moment who would say that that is your decision, Mr. McCord. It is not my decision. It's your decision. It's not mine. I have no decision-making. There's not an opportunity. What? What do you want?
If I say to you,
Jesus.
Charles, what do you think? Then that means, what do you think? Tell me. Don't say to me, it's whatever you want to do.
You know what I
we
think?
already know.
You know what I think? I'll tell you what I think.
No.
It is time to say goodbye.org. Let's hope that thing can be put into effect within the next 20 minutes.
Oh.
And that you're sending out dang CDs.
You don't hope that I die. You don't mean that.
Just shut up. Move on.